Hello and welcome back to my channel. For this card, I am using the Let's Go Nuts stamp set paired with the Pizza My Heart stamp set from Fawn. I'm going to stamp some squirrels out in my Fawn jellyfish ink, and this is actually second generation stamping, which means I stamped it once onto some scrap paper before stamping it again without re-inking it. This just makes a very, very light image, and I know right now you can't see probably anything I'm doing. I am drawing little chef hats on both of my squirrels, and I am going to outline them with a Copic friendly fine liner. I also, if you can see, I gave my little squirrel a mustache, and that was from the Pizza My Heart stamp set. I just thought it was funny. I've been really loving adding these silly details to these squirrels lately. Now, if you're looking at the little mustache squirrel and you're wondering why I haven't given him bottom legs, that's because I had planned on him being upside down on the card with part of his body not showing. So I didn't even bother stamping that because, or I guess I stamped it. I didn't bother tracing it out with my fine liner because I didn't want to color a whole bunch of things and waste ink for an area I was never going to use anyway. Now, I flipped this upside down to color this little squirrel since I knew he would be positioned upside down. And that might seem weird, but I was just trying to get a feel for, how to color it, like where the shadows might be, if the light was still coming from somewhere at the top of the card. And I don't know that this is perfect, but really when people look at your cards, they're probably not really judging the shadow placement. So I wouldn't worry too terribly much. I'm going to keep the hats. Obviously, I want them white, but I still need to add some amount of shadow. So I used 2 light warm grays to sort of add that detail. And now here I have my regular Copic Safe ink. I am stamping a little pizza slice in it, and I'm using 2 of the colors that I used for the squirrels. So I'm using my YR24 and my YR31 for my crust color, because this tends to be my go-to crust color. And I am dotting the top of it with my darkest color just to kind of give it more of a baked look. So now I have several Fawn inks, and I'm stamping little pizza toppings onto my pizza. I used freshly cut grass, pizza crust, and chili pepper. And now I'm going to color around that. These are not Copic Safe inks, so if you go over them, they will bleed. So I did what I could to avoid that. And now I have several colors of yellow that I'm just coloring in my cheese, bringing out that YR24 again just to add a little bit of spotty texture to the cheese to make it look more baked. And I do kind of soften that with some more yellows. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sauce with my R08 marker, and then I'm going back in with, I think, that YR24 again just to deepen it a little. Now here I'm showing you the colors of ink that I used to stamp out all the pizza toppings. I stamped the ham and apricot ink but did not use those. It didn't cut right. So I moved on to the cheese, and I am taking the little sprinkle die from the Ice Cream Use Cream die set, and I'm just cutting out a bunch of yellow paper, or paper that I have colored yellow, to make my cheese. And now I'm going to take my paint splatter background stencil, and I'm just going to ink up a few of these splatters across the card using Barn Door Distress Oxide. I kind of envision this as pizza sauce splatters. I mean, I doubt squirrels would cook very cleanly. Now that that's done, I'm removing the tape. I realize now as I'm editing, there was pretty minimal reason for me to tape all that off. I really just didn't want the sauce splatters to go across the stitching lines from that die. Anyway, I'm moving on to my sentiment. This one is from that Pizza My Heart stamp set. I masked off the word slice so that I could stamp it in a different color. And I just did this with washi tape. And now I'm going in with my freshly cut grass ink, and I just inked up the word slice. This really didn't matter if it got on some of the black letters, as you won't really see it. And here was the fun part of placing all my little elements. This took a while. A lot of tiny little details. After quite a while of gluing all those on, I decided I was going to attach this panel to a slightly larger panel of red gingham paper. And it can be added to a card base, and my card is complete. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye!